Hello everybody, welcome to CGTN's new live, and I'm CGTN Digital's Gong Zhe, and now we're going to give you a tour about China's military radars. So I'm now standing at the 14th Research Institute of CETC, the China Electronics Technology Group Corporation. So this is one of the hearts of China's radar technology, and we have the privilege to be here because we negotiated hard with the military and with this institute. So now let's go on the tour. We have been here for like a week, and we have been introduced with many kind of military radars I have never seen before, but some of the radars were displayed at the 2018 Zhuhai Air Show. So the show will also be demonstrated this year. I think there will be some new radar technology on show this year, and we can give you a preview on what they already have right now. So we're going to go through about 5 or 6 radars, and from the ones that's really developed that can be sold to international, to other countries, to the cutting edge technologies that you may be out of your imagination. I heard they're using quantum technology to develop radars. That's kind of cool, isn't it? So now we're going to meet with with the people from the institute. So please first introduce yourself to the audience.
Okay, I am from Nanjing Research Institute of Electronics Technology, abbreviated as NRIT, which is the cradle or origin of Chinese radar industry. And NIT has a complete variety of radars, and you can find almost all the radar types in NIT. So I am very pleased to be here to share some information of some of our radars with our audience.
Okay, so maybe our audience want to know who you are.
I am the director of the International Cooperation Department of NIT.
So you're in charge of like selling some of the radars to other countries, right?
Yeah. I'm in charge of the export business of our institute.
Export business. Okay, so you must know these radars quite well, right?
I know those radars.
Okay, so which one do you want to introduce to us first?
So you see, all those are the radars.
Yeah.
And they look different. And they are installed on the different platforms for different applications. And I would like to first focus on those 2 fire control radar, airborne fire control radars.
So the yellow ones?
Yeah, those 2 yellow ones. Let's have a look at this one. So this is, we call this a 3-array fire control radar.
Fire control.
Yeah. So normally the fire control radar is installed inside the radome located at the nose of the fighter.
So this kind of radars used on the fighter jet.
Right.
Those fascinating looking planes that fly in the air and fight with the other
exactly.
planes. Okay.
Yeah, right. We call this a 3-array fire control radar. This is 1 array, and those 2 are also the arrays.
So basically, it's 3 radars put together.
3 antennas put together on 1 radar.
Antenna
Yeah. And so compared with the conventional radar, the conventional radar only has this 1 array.
It's one size.
So it can realize the coverage of 120 degrees. So the view angle of the pilot is limited by this only, the 120 degree. So the pilot can only see the front space, right? The space right in front of him. So could not see the space, sideways. So by putting those 2 side arrays onto the body of the fighter, so we can extend the view angle of the pilot, so he can not only see the front space but also the side space. And the performance of the radar is also greatly increased.
So I think if I can see more things coming surrounding me, then probably will have more chance to survive, right?
Right. So actually, we are not the first in the world to have such kind of idea. The idea is not new, and at present in the world, similar ideas are available. To install three array airborne radars, fire control radars on the fighter is not a difficult thing. But as you know that the resources provided by the fighters are limited. So we are always trying to make our fire control radars smaller, lighter, thinner, more compact, and use the resources provided by the fighter as less as possible. Because of the resources provided by the fighter, so those two side arrays, that would be small, could not be big. And theoretically, the detection range of the radar depends upon the product of power and the antenna aperture. So the small side arrays realizing the very near distance is no use, is useless. But what we can do is that by using our key technology, although the side arrays are very small, we can still realize the long distance.
That sounds like magic.
Yeah. And, as we know that not all the fighters could provide enough resources for the installation of the 3-array fire control radar. Moreover, the price or the cost of the 3-array fire control radars are high. So if the fighter could not provide enough resources or for the installation of 3-array antenna, 3-array fire control radar, if our user could not afford the high price of the 3-array fire control radar, so what we can do to extend the pilot's view angle, how could we do to improve the radar coverage? So this radar is the solution.
Okay. So if they can't afford, or the jet is too sleek to have the previous one, so we have this one, right?
Yeah, this is the solution for the extending the pilot's view.
But according to what I see here, there's only one antenna here. So how can it realize the wider view angle, as you said?
Okay, I would explain. You see, we call this radar as the the face scanning plus mechanical scanning radar. I would like to make an analogy to explain it, to illustrate my point in a vivid way. So this is face scanning. What is face scanning? What is mechanical scanning? Face scanning is just like the eyeball rolling, and then mechanical scanning is just like the neck rotating. So if we only have the face scanning, the radar can only realize the coverage of 120 degree in the azimuth.
So like however I roll my eyeballs, I can only see the front.
Yeah, right. Pilot can only see the space in front of him. So, but if we use the face scanning plus the mechanical scanning, then the radar can realize the coverage of more than 200 degrees in the azimuth.
So that's like rolling my eyeball while rotating my head.
Yeah, rotating your neck or head. So in this way, can realize more than 200 degree coverage in the azimuth.
Okay.
So the pilot can only see the space in front of him, but also see their sides. And in this way, the aircraft can realize the collaborative combat and the information sharing. The pilot can see the wing planes also to realize the coordinated combat.
Okay.
So why? So all those two radars are used for extending the view angle of the pilots. Why we need to extend the view angle of the pilot? What's the significance of that? So one of the important reasons to extend the view angle of the pilot is to improve the battlefield survivability of the fighter. You see, after the fighter launch the firing, right? The radar needs to continue to lock on the target, illuminate the target, and track the target during the mid-course guidance. It could not fly away till the beginning of the terminal guidance. But if the radar only has a coverage of 120 degrees, so in this way, the fighter has to fly strictly to the enemy. So in this, in this case, it is very easy for the enemy to detect you, to attack you, and you are in the very dangerous environment.
So it's like they know, so like the target jet know that we can only come from their back. So they just keep looking at their back, then they can keep themselves safe.
Yeah. And if the radar has larger coverage, like more than 200 degrees in the azimuth, so during the course of getting rid of the enemy, simultaneously, the radar can continue to lock on the target, illuminate the target. So the enemy could see you launch the fire, but could not attack you. So in this way, the survivability is significantly improved.
So it's like it's like we're flying sideways, and I can launch missiles or use other weapons to attack on the enemy, but they cannot attack back.
Right. So the technology is very difficult. Actually, in the world, a very limited number of countries could realize this technology, and in our country, only our institute can have this technology. We are very proud of that.
You look really confident in your technology.
Sure, definitely, right.
So yeah, what are these things? These big wall-like things on the truck?
These two radars are called the weapon locating radar. It has the brand SLC.
SLC.
Yeah, SLC is one of our world famous brand. This is called weapon locating radar. This weapon locating radar has two main functions. One is to locate the hostile emplacement, hostile gun position. The other function is to realize the friendly firing adjustment.
So basically it means you can track where your enemy is attacking you.
To find the emplacement of the enemy, then we can attack it.
So how to do that with the radar?
So actually, when the projectile is firing in the rising, segment, the radar can detect the signal and use the interpretation processing to detect the emplacement or gun point, hostile gun position.
So you're using a lot of terms. I may need to explain a little bit here. So by projectiles, you mean like bullets,
Yes,
or the ballistics?
Shares, yeah.
Okay, the gunfire basically,
Yeah.
like they flying, like throwing things,
Yeah.
and then you can use a radar to detect the
signal.
Okay, the signal, and then calculate backward
Yeah.
to find where they are.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about the friendly fire? Is this similar?
Friendly fire, yes, it is similar. When we launch a fire, maybe it is not so accurate. Then we will to find the position where the falling position of the fire, and tell the gun whether it is accurate or not. Then the gun will adjust their firing to accurately attack the target.
Okay, I get it. So why does this radar need this wall-like equipment?
This is the antenna, right?
Antenna, okay.
Yeah, antenna, and we need to use the antenna to detect the target.
So this is the antenna to like release the signal and
to radiation to make the to transmit the signal and get the echo from the target.
Okay, so what kind of things is it sending?
Electromagnetic wave.
Okay,
It is transmitted.
electromagnetic wave.
Yeah.
Okay, that's similar to like cell phone signal.
Yeah, similar.
It's a bit similar, well, of a different maybe different band or
Yeah,
something.
Right.
Okay.
So, and we have already exported those radars. Exported approximately 100 sets of the radars to the friendly countries.
So this is already sold product.
Yeah. And this radar, our weapon locating radar is the radar with the story. And several years ago, the government forces of South Asia country used our radars to counter their terrorists hiding in the jungle. With the help of our radar, within 2 months, the terrorists were destroyed by the government forces.
So you mean the terrorists were hidden in jungles,
Yeah.
so the government force cannot find them.
Yeah, without the weapon locating radar.
So with this, they can basically trace back,
To find
trace their
position of the terrorists.
Okay, so
to
where they fire guns, they must be where they are, right?
Right. And so this radar has been proven and tested by the war.
Okay, so this is like a real combat
Sure.
tested thing.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Over the past 30 years, we have developed 3 generations of the weapon locating radar. The first generation radar, the weapon locating radar has 3 vehicles, and the detection range not more than 30 kilometers. And the antenna of that radar uses the analog digital antenna. For the second generation weapon locating radar, all the equipment are installed on one vehicle, so more compact. So the mobility is much higher than the previous generation, and the detection range is also becoming longer. And this is the latest one, the third generation weapon locating radar. It is multifunctional. It can not only realize the function of the weapon location, it can also realize the function of air surveillance.
Air surveillance.
Yeah, it can detect the UAV, the helicopters, and etc.
So that's like a tracing back radar, and now plus a more traditional functions.
Yes, you can say that. And this radar is also more intelligent. In the previous generation radar, the second or first generation weapon locating radar, it has the friendly mode, hostile mode, long range mode, near range mode. And to realize each and every function needed to switch in between those modes. But this radar will put all the functions under one mode. So the manual intervention is very less. And it is also smarter. It can not only detect the targets, but also can tell you what kind of targets it detects. Like it can tell you whether it is a mortar or rocket or cannon or howitzer, so can realize the target recognition. And the detection range is much longer than the previous generation. It uses the fully digital antenna, and the tear down and the setup time is very, very short, just a matter of several minutes.
Okay, several minutes to set up the whole thing.
Set up and withdraw of the radar.
Okay, so you mean in the 30 years development progress, so this has been the third generation of this same type of radar,
Yeah.
and now it has is fully digitalized, and it's so what's the difference between a digital and analog?
So actually, for the digital, antenna, then the resources of the radar can be optimized, and also more flexible for the adjustment, bugging of the system, debugging the system.
So that's like more versatile.
Yeah.
Okay, I see.
And also, the environment adaptivity is very higher. It can be utilized under the extremely high temperature, extremely low temperature, and high humidity.
So when you say extremely high and low temperature, so do you have a number, or a range?
Like for example, for the extremely high temperature, like it can, operates in the desert. The temperature can be like more than 55 degree, above that.
Above, so at least 55 degrees.
And the humidity, humidity can be like more than 98%.
So that's like in the desert or in the jungle.
Yeah, or coastal area. Yeah. So it can be just deployed in many places like the desert, jungle, coastal area, mountain. So the environment can be used to many places.
That sounds really versatile to me.
Yeah, and the operation is very easy. Even you, maybe after half an hour training, you can operate the radar system.
I can do it.
Yeah.
So, is it possible for me to try it right now?
Right now, because this is locked.
Okay, this
This is locked. Maybe later on we can open it and you can try. It's
Okay.
very easy.
Okay, maybe
But
after
here
the live.
in the city area, we could not switch on the transmitter system. It will harm the health of the human beings.
So, but what about the people inside the truck?
Inside, no problem. It is shared. Inside, no transmitting can penetrate this shelter.
Okay, so does that mean this truck or this equipment has some stealth properties?
This one, I don't think so. No stealth. But we can put some camouflage use some camouflage net to cover it. To maybe from the appearance we can make some stealth solution.
Okay, so like hide in the jungle, hide in the mountains. Okay, I get it. So this looks like a really interesting one. Okay, test it in battle. So do we have anything else?
Yeah, this one. This radar actually we call it the anti-UAV multifunctional radar.
So multifunctional, but mainly used to anti-UAV.
Why I call it multifunctional? It has two main functions. One is to detect the mortar, near-range mortar. That radar can also detect the weapon location, but it can realize the mid-range to long range. But here is the near range. So in the application, those two radars can be deployed complementary to each other. So that's the first function of this radar, to detect the mortar.
So it's like that one, the one on the truck is the far-sighted one, and this one is the short-sighted one.
Right, exactly. And the second function of this radar is to detect the small target slowly flying at low altitude, like the commercial or civilian UAV, like DJI drone.
Okay.
DJI drone. Yeah. So this radar is small, right? It's compact, but it utilizes very advanced technology. It uses the two-dimensional face scanning, and you see the design is unique. the antenna. This is the antenna. The antenna is like the cylinder, right?
Yeah, it's like a cylinder.
Yeah, it doesn't need to rotate to realize the 360-degree coverage.
So it's stationary. It's just to be put here without any movements. It can detect.
But you see that radar, the antenna needed to rotate to realize the 360-degree coverage. But this radar, because of the unique design, it doesn't need to rotate for realize the all direction.
Okay.
And also this is portable. We can dismantle this radar and put the parts into three. I don't bring the cases, and put the parts into three cases, and a 3-person like you can carry. So we call it portable.
Okay, so portable means that 3-person like me without any military training.
Yeah, you can use just carry the case. Yeah, so it is portable, and this radar can be deployed at important places, like the airport, like the big event area, like the big conference, and like the nuclear power plant, and also the border area and the military camp for the protection of their safety and security.
Yeah, because I know this, because drones in airports can be a real problem. Because when an aircraft, like the planes we take, like landing or taking off, if there is a drone passing by, then the whole operation may have to be canceled or delayed. So I have experienced such a similar thing. So I know that we need to get all the drones away from the airports.
Sure, yeah, it is a real challenge or threats. I mean those
to airline safety.
Yeah, to the airport. So this radar can be utilized independently, and this also can be used with other sensors together. So our institute can provide the total solution for the anti-UAV. So for the anti-UAV, because that total solution vehicle is not available today in this place, has already been delivered to our user. So this radar can be applied with other sensors and even weapons together to counter the UAV. Our institute can integrate the radar, the EO, and the radio detection equipment, and also the laser weapon, jammer, decoy together onto a vehicle, small vehicle. And the operation sequence is like this. The radar first detects the UAV, and then the radio detection equipment will remove or delete the unwanted target, and then send the information to the EO, and the EO will make the more accurate detection. And then the EO will take the detected targets to the UAV suppression or destroying system. And the suppression system like the jammer, like the decoy and laser weapons to suppress or destroy the UAV. So that is the operation sequence of the anti-UAV systems, which is integrated on one vehicle. So the mobility is very high.
So that sounds to me like it can be fully automated, right?
Sure. Yes, right.
So all we need is a driver driving this vehicle.
Yeah. Driving the vehicle. And then the driver can also. We have the terminal. Maybe needed to press some buttons, and the system can give you the alarm automatically if it detects the threats.
So the driver can not only drive the vehicle itself, maybe he can also be trained to operate the whole system.
Sure. So only one person is required for the whole system, right?
Okay, that's kind of cool. Okay, I get it.
Okay.
Actually, I watched this radar in the 2018 Zhuhai Air Show. So you call this like a spider radar or something?
Yeah, spider web.
Spider web.
Yeah, like a web that we can, like spread a web. Then all the targets, all the UAVs are under our, the web. Yeah, could not survive. Could not run away with this spider net.
Okay, I get it. So, this is kind of cool. Yeah. So, do you have anything more to introduce to us?
Maybe it's his turn to introduce his a very advanced quantum radar.
Okay, advanced quantum. So yeah, I heard that the following radars are only models. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is not. I don't think this is a real stuff.
Yeah, it's a model, and it's a prototype.
It's a prototype of what kind of radar? Because this
we
thing
call
looks like
it-
a telescope.
We call it quantum radar.
quantum radar.
Yeah, and its working wavelength is near infrared.
Near infrared.
Yes. Why we call it a quantum radar? Because it uses a superconductor detector,
Okay,
and its
superconductor.
sensitivity can reach 1 photon. Yeah, just 1 photon, I can catch it.
So it's like there is an object in far away, and you can project photons
Photon
into the
laser.
area. So even if it only reflects a single photon,
Yeah.
and you can detect it.
Yeah.
So
So
it's
it's
quite sensitive.
yeah. Because its sensitivity is very high, so it can use less power to transmit.
So you don't need to send like massive photons.
Yeah. So its power consumption and the volume and the weight is very small. So it can be loaded on UAV or the satellite or something very small. So the application will be very wide.
So maybe I need to cut you off for a little bit. So why you're a switching person? So why you are here to introduce this high technology thing?
Because I am the designer of this prototype.
So you designed this.
Yeah.
Then I think the audience need to know who you are. Then.
Yeah. I'm Xia in our institute. My name is Ling Hao Xia.
Okay. So may I just call you Mr. Xia?
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Thank you.
So this photon detector, is there any more characteristics about this radar?
I think this one, this is the transmitter, and this is the receiver.
So this is not like telescope for two eyes. These
No.
One is like to send out the projectile, and the other one is to receive it.
Yes.
Okay. So why do they put sideways? Will this still work when they put sideways?
Yes, it can also put up and down,
Up
but
and down.
this is I think it's because of the balance.
The balance? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have the algorithm to solve this issue?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And even if it is a prototype, I think it looks really small. So if you, in the future, you build this into a real stuff, will it still be this small?
Yes, and it is this is its advantage. It's small, so it can be loaded on a small vehicle or something.
So do you have like an estimated power consumption of this device?
You mean the power consumption
Yeah,
of
yeah.
this? I think several hundred watts.
Several hundred watts.
Yeah.
So that's like
And
like a high-end computer.
yes, and it divided into two parts. This is a dual flask, and the power consumption is more to refrigerate refrigerator, and this consumption is the laser.
Okay. So it depends on the laser.
对 depends on the laser, and this
okay.
depends on the refrigerator.
Okay, you seem very stressed. You're using Chinese response to me. So, it seems like you're not very good at speaking English. So, to my experience, so many experts on these advanced technologies learn their skills from America or UK. So they speak English very well. So, what's the problem with you?
I get my degree in China.
In China?
And I go abroad just for a few months. So I'm not so good at English, especially for this prototype. We manufacture it in China, so the words I described it more in Chinese, not in English.
So it's like you produce this. So when you work with your colleagues, you speak Chinese.
Yes.
Well, that sounds unique to me because most of these advanced technologies are shared between English-speaking people.
Yes.
So this is like China's own thing.
Yes. Okay. All of this technology are Chinese. So.
Or Chinese technologies.
Yeah.
That's actually quite new to me because when I think of advanced things, it's usually like belongs to the Western countries. So now we living in the East can have this kind of advanced things.
Pardon?
So it's like, so maybe we can have a little comparison. So does the West have this kind of device?
I think it's among the best ones in the world.
So this is one of the best ones in the world.
Yes, because the technology we use are from the Chinese best universities or institute. For example, the detector we use it is from the university in Nanjing.
Okay, so Nanjing, that's like local.
Yeah, it's local.
Okay. So yeah, we're now in eastern China's Nanjing city, in the suburban area. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. So what is these devices? So are these devices belongs to a single unit?
No, this belongs to him. He is the designer of this one.
So this is another one. Okay.
Yes, this is another reader. Use some different technologies.
So he is like came up with the idea of this one, and you came up with the idea of this one.
Yes.
Okay, then you need to tell the audience who you are.
Okay. Hello everyone. I am the project manager of this. We call it Photonics-based reader. The Photonics is the technology, potential technology to realize the multifunctional with the high resolution imaging and with the modern reader, it can meet the requirements of the future readers.
So how it can meet the requirements? So what's the requirements of the future?
So we say one of the major trends of our reader is its increasing frequency range and its bandwidth. While with the wide frequency range, the reader can have the large reader range, and with the large bandwidth, the reader will achieve a more higher resolution imaging. That means with the large frequency range, the effective jamming and interference becomes more difficult. With the higher resolution imaging, that means we can detect and recognizes smaller targets.
Okay, so it's like so understanding, the modern requirements of radar is like to see a larger area and
Yeah.
to prevent people from jamming it,
Yes.
and also to see things more clear, so you can see smaller objects.
Yes.
Okay, that sounds like logical to me.
Yes. This radar had three parts. We can see.
parts,
One
That's more
is
like
the
a stereo, like a stereo speaker. You know?
Photonics combines the microwave devices and photonic devices. Microwave devices transmits and receive the signal with the traditional radar signals.
So when you say microwave, is it similar to the microwave we use at home?
Yes, it has the centimeter wavelength.
Wavelength. Okay.
Yes.
So what about this one?
This is the processor.
Processor.
It utilizes the photonic devices, and it can provide the flexible generation of the extremely stable frequency, and it processes the wide signals, and it can direct digitization without down conversion. It has many advantages compared with our traditional technologies, but it still has some important questions we must be addressed. We started this project in last year. And yes,
That's quite
and
new to
but the first implementation of this technology is in 2014.
2014.
But the dynamic range is still less than our all electronic counterparts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's still
In last
under-
year, we can answer this question. Yes, we improve the dynamic range of this demonstration. We increase the dynamic range about 10 times than the demonstration in 2014. Yeah.
So that's okay, you have make it 10 times better than the things like 5
Yeah,
years ago.
that means we can achieve the similar performance compared with our all electronic readers. Yes.
So your prototype has already reached the level of use, right?
Yes. In the future, we will demonstrate a more completely system.
More complete system.
Yes.
Okay. So that sounds very complicated to me, and I don't think it should be a hard thing for you to explain how it works, right?
Yes, because it is some technologies behind the some antennas. Commonly, you can't see the devices from the outside.
So you don't. So you actually hide these devices inside other equipment.
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about the international comparison. So, do you know if the Americans or the European people have this kind of technology?
Yes.
They also have.
I just said in 2014, the world's first implementation is realized by the team from Italy, European,
Italy.
yes, and American also has many advantage technologies in this area.
Okay,
Yes,
but we're now doing it differently, or we're making it better.
Making the bird.
No, we're making it better.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So is there any European or American people that want to know your work in progress?
My work in progress.
I mean, is there any researchers or engineers from other countries that's curious about your research?
We have.
So it's like is there any international voices that asking you like how you did it?
Yeah, maybe from we just show it in our country, not with
So like this is the first
international
time
people.
So it's like the first time we're demonstrating these kind of things.
No, we demonstrated it last year.
Last year.
Yeah.
Also in the Zhuhai Air Show.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So do you have any plans for this year's Zhuhai Air Show?
This year's, you can say this is just a model.
Yeah, this is a model.
Yeah.
It's not the real stuff.
So this year we will realize the antennas, arrays, digital arrays, and the whole processor with Photonics technology.
So you have like a working or a proof of concept device here,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
And on this year's Zhuhai Air Show.
Yes.
Okay. So I never heard you people like join the Zhuhai Air Show before. So is it like that you're planning to participate in the air show every year from now on?
Oh, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Okay.
Yes.
So maybe we need to ask the managers about this. Right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So I think this is the whole demonstration here. As you can see, that this institute is only one of China's many institutes developing radar, but they're calling themselves like the born place of the Chinese radar industry, and they're now developing these kind of radars I don't even understand. I don't know what about you guys, but yeah, these kind of technologies is really advanced to me because they're using quantum technology to do the military stuff. But they're also trying to display it or show a proof of concept devices live in Zhuhai Air Show this year. So I'm really looking forward to this. I don't know what about you guys. I'm Gongzhou from CGTN Digital, and this is the end of our live streaming today. So thank you for watching. Goodbye.